today we are going to discuss the next topic of this chapter, that is features of planning. So in features of planning we have already seen that what is meaning of planning. Planning is deciding in advance what we have to do, how we have to do. So generally planning is giving us answer of many questions, that is what we have to do, how we have to do, where we have to do, when we have to do, who will do. So many questions are answered in our planning. So planning has some characteristics are there, some features are there. Let's try to understand one after one. The first one is planning focusing on achieving objectives. So as we know that it is related with objectives, we are already deciding the objectives in the planning stage only. In planning only we are clarifying that what kind of goals are there we are going to achieve in future. So here they are doing the planning for specific goals are there, specific goals are set, and for that purpose different activities, what kind of activities we have to do, that is also decided to achieve that objective. And like that way this planning is a purposeful activity, it has some purpose, and if there is a no purpose or no objective, there is a no meaning of planning. All right, so first one is planning focuses on achieving objectives. Next is planning is primary function of management. So management's first function is planning. So other functions of management like organizing, directing, staffing and controlling, they all are moving behind the planning. So first this function is there and afterwards other functions will follow this planning. According to planning we have to organizing the other things. According to planning we have to do the direction will be there towards the objective. According to planning the staffing will be there. According to planning we have to do the controlling function also. This is a primary function, this is a first function, and this is a base for other functions of management. All other functions are working within the framework of our plan which we are deciding in this stage or in this step. So there are other functions, they are also very important, they are equally important, but planning is providing them the base for all other functions. They are moving towards the planning only. Now next one is planning is pervasive. Planning means pervasive means at every level of the organization, that is top level, that is middle level, lower level, everywhere the planning is required. Not only every level but at every department also. In every department at every level the planning is required, and planning is not required for 1 year, 1 month or 1 week. Planning is also required for 1 day also, 1 hour also. Like that way we can easily see the planning is there all the way. And it is a function of management that they must have a plan for every level, for every department, for every week, for every month and for every hour. All right, so that's why it is a planning is all pervasive. Now next one is planning is a continuous activity. All right, we know that planning word is already related with some time period. We are doing planning for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. So as a student we are planning for 1 year or 1 exam. So like that way in business we are doing planning, and planning is already related with time. So it may be 1 month, 1 quarter or 1 year, but after completing that 1 month or 1 quarter, it is not the work is over. We need to do new planning for new timings. So like that way this planning activity is already going on continuously. There is a one plan is over, another plan we are following, another plan is completed, next plan we are following. Like that way planning is become a continuous. Planning is become a basis for the new requirements. If suppose some change is there, new requirements are there, for that also we have to do planning. Like that way planning is always moving towards and like that way it is a continuous activity. Next one is futuristic. Futuristic means related with future. So as we already talked in the definition also, it is a future activity. It is a we are deciding the activity in advance, that what we are going to do in future and how we are going to do. So in this stage, what will happen if planning, we have the planning. The purpose of planning is what? The purpose of planning is that whatever things are going to happen in future, that things how we can do in a best way. So because we have already decided the target, so how we can do this effectively and efficiently, that they are deciding to achieve the goals of the organization. So here we know that in planning what we are doing predictions. In planning we are looking forward the what kind of functions we have to do. We are forecasting the future events or conditions, and what kind of things we are anticipating. These all things are there in our planning. Like for the sales department is there, so sales departments is doing forecasting something about the future, and on the basis of that the production department will do something. So they both are related, so these things are related with future. So it is so planning is a futuristic activity. Next one is planning involves decision making. As we know that just because of we have a limited resources, so for that way it has a resources have a multiple use, so we have to decide that what in which way we have to use these resources. We have to use these resources for the first function or next function, like so that decision we are taking in the stage of planning. So whenever you are doing the course of action, at that time we have to take the decision that because the sources has a multiple use, so what in which way we have to use these resources. This decision is taken in the stage of planning. Like let's take an example. Like there is we have a one plot of land is there, okay. So in that one plot of land we have a multiple choice. We can give it to some other person on a rent also. We can use it for the own production process also. We can use it for the other production also. Like that way this resource has a multiple use, and from that multiple uses, what is the best use of this land, that we are deciding at planning stage, and that decision we are making at the planning stage. So in this we can understand that planning is a function of evaluating and examining the each and every alternative, and out of them we are going to choose the most appropriate one, and that is a part of our planning, and that decision we are taking here in planning stage. Next is it is a mental exercise. Planning requires the application of mind. In this mind we have to do foresight, intelligent imagination, and sound judgment we have to take while doing the planning. So it is we can say it is an intellectual activity of thinking, that what we are going to do, that we are deciding on this stage, and for that purpose what kind of action is required, that also we are deciding. So here we can say we require the logical, we have to apply our logic also. Manager has to apply logic also, and systematic thinking is there. We don't have to it is not a based on guessing. We are not guessing here, or we are not doing any wishful activity, but here it is totally based on the facts and forecast and analysis. On the basis of this thing we are doing the planning, then that's why it is called mental exercise. So all this point you can easily remember with the help of this word, that is comp FD. So comp FD is not a word from the dictionary, but this is a made for the it facilitate you to remember all this point. Like C means what? C means planning is a continuous activity. O means what? O means planning is focusing on achieving objectives. M means what? M means it is a mental exercise. P means it's a primary function of management. Other P means it is a pervasive. Planning is all pervasive. F means it is a futuristic, and D means what? D means planning involves decision making. Okay, thank you friends.